Welcome to the Queen's Conversations podcast, the official podcast for United Kwendom, LLC, hosted by Teddi Rene. Hey there, it is Teddi Rene, your host for the Queen Conversations podcast, and I just want to welcome all of our returning listeners, all of our new listeners to the show today. So, if you are unaware, this is the second half of season 2 of the Queen Conversations podcast, and if you listen to episode 11, which was visibility, right? So that was my first episode of this new year. Then you will know that this season is coming to a close and I intend to wrap it up in January. If you've been listening for this season, then you also are aware that a little while back I told you guys that I lost a few episodes, guest interview episodes and a couple of solo episodes as well, about 5 of them, to corrupted files and just very poor technical practices on my part. But I am very, very excited to say that I have recovered more than I expected to recover. So I am going to be, for this episode and next episode, I'm going to just be releasing those interviews so that you guys can have them. So please keep in mind that these interviews were done, I want to say around this summer, actually. They were recorded. I had interviews with my guests in June and August for the most part. So these interviews are a little dated. So if there is any information in them about upcoming events or services and things, just know that those may not apply currently. But still, please check out my guests, go to their website, support all that they're doing. And the information in these episodes is absolutely still applicable and very much still valuable. So I wanted to share those with you guys without having to inconvenience my guests by asking them to re-record. I had such a great time speaking with these ladies, so I will most likely, some of them I've already done so, but reach out to them for a follow-up episode so that we can just kind of catch up with them and see what they're doing. So the next few episodes you'll be getting, they'll be very clean and crisp and straight to the point. There won't be an intro. There won't be a go-getter tip of the day. It'll just be me talking to my guests. So enjoy the interview for today and let's get into it. We are here. Let's get into our guest for today. Joining the conversation today is Miss Christina Crowder. Now, before I get into all of Christina's stuff, let me just tell you, I met Christina when I was working for Andrews Youth Programs, Andrews Youth Services for Andrews Air Force Base, now Joint Base Andrews. And I had to be... I was over 21. I had to be over 21. I want to say maybe 22 or 23 years old. And Christina was one of my teens for the after school program for the Boys and Girls Club, right? I worked primarily out of Summerfield, which is now a private residence. Like you can rent different types of homes, but it's right across from Morgan Station, the metro station. That was not always there, right by FedEx Field, right? So that's just kind of dating how long I've known Christina and how young we were when we first met. So it was all military housing at the time. They were their own little community. Again, another branch of Andrews Air Force Base because it's literally right up the Beltway. And I met her and so many great people in my life. Candace, LaDanya, Markel, my best friend Reg, my best friend Elle, like all through that experience. It was absolutely one of my most favorite times of my life. I had so much fun. This was between my time at Coppin State, back then college, now Coppin State University, and my time at PG Community College. So I've known Christina for a while. We didn't really speak on a day-to-day basis for a while, whatnot, but I followed her on Instagram quite recently. And when I saw that she was starting a business, I got super excited, right? Because she's so beautiful, and just seeing and having this interview with her just kind of solidified like the type of amazing person that she is, her spirit, her energy. She's so humble and passionate, and she has a very apparent relationship with God, and she has grown so much. She's so real, so raw, and I just love everything about her. Okay, so she has an event coming up in October. You guys, really, I want you to pay attention to everything that we discuss in this. And this episode was called Check Yourself, because because all the time, before you even try to make any type of real changes in life, you got to check yourself. You got to be real with yourself and, identify your own toxicity, right? Because it's not always other people. You got to look into yourself and say, you know what, bitch, it's me. Get your life together. For those of you who didn't know that I curse, clearly you don't know me. It happens sometimes. Sorry, I'm sure that just came as a shock to some of you. But seriously, sometimes you have to look at yourself and be like, you know what? It's not other people. It's absolutely me. Let me get my shit together. I need to check myself. But I just wanted to give all of that background, because when I say I really enjoy these podcast episodes, I absolutely do. And this one was no different. This one was absolutely amazing. Christina is amazing. She has an event coming up in October. Be there. Okay. Support everything she does. She deserves it. You deserve it. It's just, man. It's good stuff, okay? Listening back, I absolutely understand why the enemy was trying so hard to hide this episode from me. I know. So let me tell you about Christina, okay? Christina is a Howard University alumnus. She has pursued her Bachelors of Science in psychology. I have mine too. Soon after graduating, Christina continued her education at Trinity Washington University to earn a master's in education with a concentration on curriculum development. Currently, Christina serves as an analyst for the Student Empowerment and Equity Programs team in D.C. Public Schools. Christina continues to follow her dreams and founded a wedding and event planning business, Inspired Events by Christina, where she serves as the lead coordinator and designer. Inspired Events by Christina is an event and wedding planning company that seeks to create inspirational events that will feel momentous no matter how large or small. They specialize in corporate events, grand openings, weddings, vow renewals, birthdays, nonprofit events, and so much more. At Inspired Events by Christina, they believe in executing each event with excellence, always keeping their clients' ease of mind as a top priority. And absolutely, be on the lookout for United Kwendom gatherings, and just know that between Christina and Carter Sade, it's going to be a good event, okay? Because they are my go-to for everything event planning for the DC area, period, okay? Them and Shanae from season 1. Get with it, okay? I don't just feature people just because they're doing stuff. I feature them because I believe in what they're doing, and I have plan on using their services, okay? So let's get into this. Christina joined the conversation, and now you will too. All right. So first, I just want to say thank you for joining me today and agreeing to interview with me for the Kween Conversations podcast. And before we get started, I just wanted to give you a moment or some time to introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, what your business is, and what you do.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for reaching out. I appreciate it. I'm Christina Crowder, and my business is entitled Inspired Events by Christina. And basically what my business is, it's a event and wedding planning company. So I'm a certified wedding coordinator. And then in addition to doing just events and weddings, I also focus on social gatherings, corporate events, and something that is actually near and dear to my heart. We'll be doing community-informed events. So whether it's us personally, meaning Inspired Events by Christina, orchestrating the community-informed event, or whether it's people within the community who, just want to put together different events for people within the community and inform them basically about or bring awareness to a certain type of issue. So for instance, our first community informed event is going to be October 6th, and it's called Wellness for All Women. And woman is spelled WOMBEN. And basically what this event is, it's going to be a all female event, and guys are welcome, but we want it for all types of women, ages like 14 to 80 and beyond. And it's basically going to focus on women's reproductive health awareness. So for women who have endometriosis, fibroids, who are, suffer from infertility, we're just going to have like a lot of conversations about that, and also some just activities to just bring about awareness about the issue. Or issues, because I just feel from personal reasons that I've experienced, I just feel like, sometimes women in our community, we're going through a lot of issues, but we suffer in silence sometimes. So I just wanted to have this event to bring awareness so that we can have conversations about it. Women can become more informed and ultimately heal as well. That's the ultimate purpose, is for women to heal from that.
Nice. So, I think that's a pretty good, like a really good topic for the event, because, and like you said, women suffer in silence, but it wasn't until maybe I was pregnant with my second child that I even realized that like the pains that I was feeling like during my cycle weren't even normal, like caused by like fibroids. Like, so like we think that what we feel is what we're supposed to feel, but it's really not. So I think that that's a great event. So how did you get started with event planning? Is this something that you've always done? Are you doing this full time, or like how'd you get into this?
Yeah. So basically I've been doing events. So, I mean, we meaning my boyfriend and I, DeAndre, we really we enjoy hosting, like just different functions, social gatherings with friends, family, whatever. So it started from like birthdays with our kids to then like, our kids, they go to African centered school and they celebrate Kwanzaa. So 2 years ago, I decided to be like the Kwanzaa committee chair. And a lot of that was just like organizing the entire event, not really the production aspect, but more so just the logistical details of making sure that everything was on time and flowing. So I did that 1 year. And then last year, back in 2018 of December, I did the second, I planned the second one, and I got so much positive feedback. Like a lot of the parents, they were like, this year was really great. They were like, you did a really, really good job just organizing and orchestrating everything. And then it was just like, I need to start doing this for a business, because I also do it for my full-time job. So full-time, I actually work for D.C Public Schools, and I serve as the analyst for student empowerment and equity programs team. And with that, part of my role is to put on events. So we host our We the Girls conference annually. And then we also have like a men's event that we do for male educators of color. So I have a large role that I play in putting on those events. And I was like, you know what, let's just make a business out of it. And I just launched in March. And here I am.
Yeah, I remember when they first popped up on my timeline on Instagram. I was like, "Oh yes!" I was like, "Look at her! Oh, like a real adult." Like I can't remember. Yeah. That's crazy. You said you're talking about like my boyfriend DeAndre, and I'm just sitting here like that boy, like his
little boy from Summerfield. Yeah,
exactly, little boy from Summerfield. I'm sitting like in my mind, like I'm always like, oh my teens, the old teens, like, but y'all are like real adults out here and living like amazing lives. I'm so proud of y'all. Is he still as goofy as he's always been back then?
Of course. He evolved, but we like our true spirit like stayed.
Yeah.
And
y'all kids are adorable. They're so precious. Oh my God. They're so cute. Okay. So you do this for full time as well. So then like, how did you get started when it came to like, where did you start when you decided that you wanted to do this as a business versus just doing it for like a 9 to 5? Like, what were some of the first steps?
Let's think back. So literally like, it's funny. So before New Year's Day, I want to say maybe a couple of days after Christmas, my family and I, we were all just talking about the upcoming year, and we were just reflecting on like everything from 2018. And one thing I said to everybody in my family, I was like, well, I wish and hope that in 2019, I can just use my talents to create a business. Didn't even know that it was going to be event planning. And then when I had that aha moment after, Kwanzaa and everything, that's when, I just started researching like, okay, there has to be a certification. There has to be a class. So I Googled like wedding planning certifications, and I saw that PG offered a 14-week course, and you become a certified wedding coordinator concluding the class. So I literally just signed up. I was like, okay, this is $375 of an investment. Let's do it. So it was that. And then it was, all right, let me start going to bridal shows to get a feel for like what the industry is like, just to network. So I started like literally researching all the bridal shows in the area and tried to go to as many as I could. And then I don't know how I got into that phase of, okay, let's, actually get an LLC. I don't know. I talked to so many people that have businesses, so I guess it was just already kind of in my forefront. And I was just like, okay, let's just get an LLC. So I went on biz filings. I filed. I got my LLC like in a couple weeks later. And it was just like, boom. And well, let me scale back from, it was also like figuring out what's the name. And I was just like trying to come up with millions of names and just sending it to like my close-knit circle and just having people vote on a name. And then I was like, okay, my cousin was like, do inspired events. Because at first it was going to be events inspired by Christina. But my cousin was like, do inspired events by Christina. So I did it. Thank you, Ashley. And got my LLC. And then after that, it was just figuring out like, okay, what's the next steps in having your own business? So I kind of consulted with a couple of close family friends. Like I said, a couple of people in my circle, they have their own businesses already. I have a couple of mentors, just really like having to break out of my shell and just asking questions. Like I've been that person of being very inquisitive. And I think that's just one positive trait that I've had thus far. I mean, it could be annoying because I ask a lot of questions, but I just like to become informed. And that's what I did. And after that, I opened up my own business banking account. And that helped a lot with, just starting up and investing in myself. Basically, I had to look at it like, okay, yes, I have to spend X amount on this, but it's an investment because, we need these types of things to make the business go. Also, like, honestly, my wedding class, my wedding coordinating class that I took, I was under an amazing wedding coordinator who's been in the industry for like over 20 years. Her name is Shelby Tuff-Horton. She was awesome. The class was awesome. It focused a lot on the business aspect. It wasn't very hands-on with like, okay, we're going to go do a wedding one day for class. It was more so like really building your business and making your business be able to sustain itself for years to come. So that was very vital.
That it's I'm happy to hear you say that, especially the part about like the business banking. Like, to be honest, with all of the business that I do, I still don't have a business bank account. Like, that's crazy, right?
Or you got to get one.
I know, but it's like it's one of those things where it's like, you're supposed to have one, and it comes with its own privileges and things that you're going to need in your business. But, it's one of those things where I got to go walk into the bank, especially because like I have Navy Federal. So like you got to like walk in there and sit and talk to them and get it. And I'm just like, bro, I don't have time. But yes. So but I'm happy to say that you're more focused on the business aspect of getting organized. A lot of people miss out on that. And at the end of the day, when it comes time to like organizing their money and paying their bills and paying taxes and showing Uncle Sam what you did with all this money, like that is absolutely going to help. So I need to get my life together and be like,
I went to BB&T. They are amazing. I have Navy Federal as well. I was going to go through them, but some of my mentors, one of my mentors, she is actually like a regional manager, I think, or something like that for commercial banking for BB&T. And she just was like, they had a lot of better incentives. So I would recommend for people to just do their research and also diversify like your banking because, at first I was like, oh, Navy Federal, like I have my mortgage through them. I have my car insurance, or not my car insurance, my car note. like keep it all there. But honestly, it's better to just see what else is out there, what other incentives might work better for you in that part of your life. Because, you know, the mortgage was great, but then I actually ended up refinancing my mortgage through BB&T because they had better incentives. So this is not paid advertising for BB&T.
Yeah, but that makes a very good point that, you know, I mean, that's for life in period, you should definitely do your research. What fits you best, because everything at one place is not going to suit you the way that it suits somebody else. So good advice. Look at you being all wise and stuff. So let's see, what else do we have for you? So how did you, what was the biggest challenge for you once you decided, like what so far, I know you said you just started in March. So you're in the early stages of building a business. So far, what it has been the largest obstacle for you? Like, is there one thing that you struggle with, or one thing that you're realizing that you need to prepare more for, or like what's the biggest one so far?
So I'm not in this cycle anymore of it, but one thing that was a large obstacle is because I was going to class like once a week for like 3 hours throughout the day. And then, you know, I have 2 kids, and it was like the middle of the school year at that point when I started my classes, and then things were picking up with my job. One thing that was a struggle was just like maintaining a household, and also being like, what's the word I'm looking for? Being not respectful, but more so just being considerate. There we go. Being considerate of like my partner, DeAndre. You know, because I found myself like, okay, like, all right, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Like I was just boom, 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 boom. Like every opportunity that I saw in terms of like, okay, this is a networking event. Like there was D.C. Wedding Week that happened 2 months ago or something like that. And it was like, you know, a lot of social events that were happening. And I just found that my calendar was just really heavily booked. And it was just a huge transition for us, because normally like DeAndre is the one that's always busy and I'd be the one at home sometimes. And now like the roles have flopped. And so I think that was an obstacle for us as a couple, was just getting used to our new normal basically, and learning how to communicate, because it's like, oh yeah, I told you that I have this thing tonight. And he's like, no, you didn't. And it's just like, you know, that can cause issues, because, you know, you just have to make sure that like you're being mindful of like your circle, because at the end of the day, we're here to support each other. And we just have to make sure that if we're going to be supporting each other, we have to make it easier on one another when, you know, just taking each other's time into consideration, because he may have wanted to come home and just chill, but not really, you know, like worry about dinner and all these other things. So that's kind of one of the biggest obstacles that we encounter, but we're through that hurdle now. And I want to say now it's just like putting myself out there, because I finished my certification in June, and now it's just like, okay, I want to like put myself out there and just like, okay, try to get as many clients or brides as possible. But it's just learning how to just pace myself. And because I'm that type of person, it's just like, okay, boom, 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 boom. But I've been trying to take a breather to just like, okay, I need to make sure that my infrastructure is in place, so that when I do have brides or clients, like I can give them the type of service that I want to give them, or that, you know, is built upon within the business.
Absolutely. You are doing all of the right things. I'm crazy. I mean, not crazy bad, but like crazy. That's great. Like amazing. So when it comes to this journey so far, what are some things that looking forward you, like, what are some things that looking forward, like kind of scare you about this whole transition, about the, you know, jumping into entrepreneurship?
Yeah. That's a good question. One thing that scares me, and I don't know if it scares me, but just like obviously not being successful, I want to say that's the only thing at this point. Like I'm so like, I guess, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed right now. So I'm just like, oh, you know, it's going to be bomb. Like I'm going to do what I got to do. But I think just one thing that I wouldn't even say it scares me, but it's just like, you know, if something were to like happen, I guess, with and God forbid that it ever happens to our family structure, that would kind of like prohibit me from moving forward to like being able to put myself out there and be able to like have the clientele. I think that's kind of the only thing that makes me nervous.
Okay. I can see that. And it is a, you know, coming from my perspective of being a single mom or having like the daily responsibilities of being a mom by myself, and then running all the businesses I do, it is absolutely something that would require some type of transition if like the structure was to change. So, but it's good that you're thinking about that. I think that was a good question. That question came out of nowhere. Because normally my question would be, and I'm still going to ask you, but like, that was just like, normally my question is, you know, what was one thing that you thought was going to be very difficult that turned out to be easy? And then the flip, what did you think was going to be easy that turned out to be more difficult? So do you have anything for either of those?
Those are good questions as well. I would say one thing that I thought was going to be difficult was just going into this whole realm. Like, it's a whole new industry, whole new realm, whole different type of way of working with people versus like, you know, working with so for instance, with my full-time job, I have we're a team of 6 and we work together all the time. We work very well together versus like now it's like I have to be more open to like making new relationships, fostering new partnerships with different vendors and things, and always just working with different people. So like, for instance, a wedding that I just worked a couple weeks ago, like I didn't know any of the vendors. I was working under another coordinator, didn't know any of the vendors, but it's just like, you know, you have to learn how to like establish yourself as the lead role, because as a coordinator, like you're that head honcho, I guess you could say, that has the show running. And it's just like, I think now that I'm talking it out, one thing that I did think that was difficult is that people would see me as being a younger person and not take me serious. And I've kind of dealt with that my whole life, I think, because, you know me, like I was in the teen lounge when I was like 10, 11 years old back in Summerfield. And it's like, I always like hung around older people. So I think that's what has helped me to like foster that ability of like maneuvering with older people. But definitely like just being able to work with people I have no clue of, like never met, never worked with, and just being that boss in charge at the moment. It's kind of scary, and it's just like, oh my gosh, like, are they going to take me serious? But then it's like, girl, do it.
That's good. And that's a good, like, a mentality or perspective to have, because a lot of people would get in that situation and be like, it's scary. Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. It can be very intimidating. Very intimidating.
Like,
like it's somebody's wedding and you don't want to like mess up the most important day of their lives. You know, that's the other pressure it is. And it's nerve-wracking sometimes.
So that's what I was going to ask next is like, what is it that you're most and like least looking forward to when it comes to working with a variety of different, not just brides, but grooms too?
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of people give a lot of like flack to like brides, but
yeah,
grooms really be giving it to folks especially when they like, I'm paying you. Like,
yeah. Sorry. Repeat the question one more. Like I heard you.
So like, what are you most and like least looking forward to with the, you know, the opportunity to work with a variety of different brides and grooms, like couples?
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm just looking forward to just meeting new people and making new connections. I am not looking, I don't know. That's a good question. Like, because I just feel like the ones that are very difficult, like it's a challenge. So it'll like spice it up a little bit. I don't know, but I wouldn't say I'm looking forward to the difficult ones, but you know, I do embrace challenges. That's enough.
Also a good place to be. This is going to be a breeze for you. I mean, a breeze, like you're going to look back and be like, oh yeah, that was hard, but it's over now. And now look at me in my $1 trillion wedding industry, like organization. Ooh, yeah.
Claim it for me. Claim it.
I'm telling you, like you have all of the right like outlook on it. And I tell people a lot, like your mindset actually like it guides your purpose and your trajectory. Like you can do whatever it is that you want to do, but you got to be ready and willing to go through, like you said, the challenges. And that's where a lot of people kind of just get in their own way and just kind of, you know, I forgot it's my podcast. I can say fuck it up. Like, and they kind of just, just fuck themselves over. Like, oh, wow, that was scary. I didn't do it. And it's like, well, she did it and it was scary for her. And now look at her success. You still can do it. However, you have to change your mind.
You definitely do.
So on that note of like getting out of your way or being in your own way, do you have an instance, and it could be, with your new job, your new business or your job or personally or your relationship, but just give me an example of a time where you were your own worst enemy, basically in your own way of something that you wanted or needed. And then some information on like what that situation looked like, how you got out of your own way, and then what you've learned from that.
Yeah. Great question. So one thing I can say is that one thing that like it's been helpful, but not at the same time. But I know that like with me, I've had, there's been just a lot of trauma that I've gone through as a younger child that obviously like that I've brought along with me as an adult. And, it hasn't been until actually like this year has just been a wild evolution of a year, because I've come to that realization that, okay, a lot of things that I've gone through in my past are like just still here. And I was utilizing a lot of different types of coping mechanisms, especially drinking. Like anybody that knows me knows that like I can be a great fun time, or I could be like a really bad time drinking. So I had to like come to that realization, like, girl, you need to get it together. Like, what is going on with you to the point where like you I don't know. I just kept like being in my own way, basically. And I want to say like getting reconnected with God and reestablishing like my relationship with God and becoming a little more involved in church has helped me. Like I can honestly say that I have not drank since March. Praise him. And not saying that, I'll be a forever like non-alcoholic person, but just for right now, while I'm going through this transition, because like I've been praying to God constantly, what I ask him is just to help me evolve and move past my trauma, because I can't bring that trauma into my new chapter. Like I see where I'm going and the behaviors and attributes and things that I had, they can't follow me there because I'm going to destroy myself. And you have to come to that realization. You have to be real with yourself and be able to call yourself out. Like that's probably one of the hardest things people have, is being able to call your own self out on your BS and just how toxic you can be to your own life.
Mm-hmm.
As women, like, and I'm not there fully where like I'm like the best person or whatever, but I've almost lost at least like 4 friendships from just being like an alcoholic. Like it was hard to say that I was alcoholic because it's just like, oh, I like to drink when I go out or whatever. But it's just like going to therapy just helped me realize, okay, you know what, girl, like maybe you do drink a little too much, maybe that's just it. And it's just like, I never thought I would be that person to not go out and not drink with everybody else. Mm-hmm. But it's to that point, like even my coworkers, we just came back from Chicago from doing a training, and they're like, so I know you guys, but are you going to drink with us? And I'm like, nah, like I just can't. Like I'm not to that point where I can trust myself, and I don't feel like I've like let go a lot. Like, so this is like moving forward. The vision is letting go of the past, healing. That's just where I'm at right now.
Aw, look, I'm so proud of you, because that is one of the that it literally is one of the biggest things for a lot of people, me included, is like letting go of like the person that you're used to, like within yourself, so that you can have like that evolution experience and move towards the things that you want. Because I'll tell you, like, and anyone who knows me, especially when it comes, and me, me, like I will cuss somebody out in a second, don't have no issue with it, but it wasn't always other people, So I had to look at like how I showed the people that I cared about them, and yelling at them and cussing at them. Like that just was not
That's
it.
Not the way.
It was not. So it's like I had to, like you, like admit to myself, like, Teddi, like yes, you're an amazing person. However, you're also a major bitch and you're evil sometimes to people for no reason. And you say things that,
exactly,
it would be very hard for you to convince someone that you care when you say those types of things, regardless of the reason or provoke. So, having to come to that realization and be like, you know what? That is wrong.
Yeah.
And it's not going to help me in the areas that I want to be in life. And this is going to keep a lot of things from me. So let me do my part in addressing my own toxic behavior. And I tell people all the time, like, I'm the same, like you said, at my core, I am the same Teddi that worked at Summerfield and Andrews and from wherever, but I have evolved beyond a lot of the negative things and a lot of those too funny traits and attributes that I had. So that's great. I mean, but you can see that. And it's something, people say it to me all the time, like, whatever you're doing, like, I can tell, like, it just kind of like it ruminates like out of your spirit, like even in your pictures. And I'm like, seriously? And I can see that in you. And I look at your pictures, I'm like, oh my God, like, look at this. I'm proud. Like, and I knew, like you said, I've known you where you were like 10, bro. Like, oh my God.
Something, 10, 11, one of those.
I'm getting older. Wait, that means if I'm getting older, like, oh no, Glenn's only a little older than me. Anyway, yeah, we're all just getting older. That's a word for real. So coming up, so you have the event in October. What are you just doing wedding events, or I know you said you're doing some community things? Like what's the full scope of what you are offering as far as services, and including like location? Because I know you're here in. Are you in Maryland still?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Yep. So you're in Maryland and near the DMV. I hate that saying the DMV, but in the DMV. How far are you willing to go to help someone with their event? Like physically go?
Yeah, I mean, I would say almost anywhere. Obviously, I would have to, there's a travel fee that would be included. But, when I was in Chicago just this week, I was visiting my family as well. And me and my cousin went to a smoothie shop and it was a whole bunch of business cards. And I put my business cards right there on the counter. Like, hey, I'll come to Chicago if you need me to. So I don't want to limit myself in what I can do and my capabilities. Bianca, Bianca. Yeah. She was looking to do her vow renewal in.
She's so married.
Sorry, St. Croix. Please don't kill me, Bianca. But I was gonna do that, and it was to the point where it's just like, okay, let's do it. Like I was planning everything. I reached out to the people down there. Was gonna go down there, and we're gonna just push it back for them, their renewal. But I already full scope and digging of here's the venue, here's the prices. I negotiated the prices, figured out like what would work for them. So I'm open to it as long as I can speak the language of where we have to go, so I can communicate to the vendors, or if I'm an interpreter, I'll go. I'll do it.
Nice. So for all of my friends who just recently got engaged, make sure you reach out to Christina. She will come to you. That's what she said. So do it, guys. Exactly. So where can people find you right now? You have a website, just on Instagram. Like if someone wanted to inquire about your services and your rates, or book you for their next event, how could they do that?
Yeah. So you can go on my website, which is Inspired by Christina, and Christina is spelled the traditional way, CHRSTINA.com. And I'm also on Instagram, and my Instagram is Inspired Events with an S by Christina. I didn't do the Facebook yet. I know we have a lot of Facebook people. I've just been posting on like my personal page on Facebook. But yeah, those are the two avenues that you can reach me, and yeah.
All right. So as far as your Inspired Events by Christina, and even the event that you have coming up in October, what is the one thing or top 3 things that you need from anyone who's willing to give to help you be more successful?
So what I need, one, are just people who are serious and, ready to commit themselves to, moving on to the next phase. I've had at least a number of inquiries of, like with people that I've like sat down with people to discuss with them, like, okay, this is what it is and this is what I can do. But then sometimes people, they, I guess, some may have gotten scared by the prices, and I'm not charging thousands of dollars, but I do know my worth. I know my services that I give. Like I have 6 years of hospitality experience under my belt. And then just, my job, my full-time job, I have that experience as well. So I just want for like clients to just keep in mind of the entire service that they're getting. And maybe, me as being the founder, I may need to articulate myself a little better in explaining my services and explaining, the fact that in weddings, it's great that you can have family help you the day of, but, it ends up being stressful. Like it ends up being so stressful sometimes when you have family members involved in your wedding, or even with events. Like, some people are like, oh, I got my caterer, my venue, my photographer. I'm good. Those big ticket items are amazing. However, it's the small fine-tuned details that, often people like me as a wedding coordinator come in and just like save the day, because it's like, you may want to do 5,000 things in your wedding. And it's like, okay, we can try to do that. Let's be rational. I remember one wedding I worked, for the reception, they wanted 10 people to do a toast. They wanted to do that little shoe game. They wanted to do the bouquet toss, all the dances with the parents, the aunties, and do a outfit change. And it's just like, oh my goodness. Like we have to take everybody into consideration with an event. And that's also something I want people to understand is that there's this really great book that I read. It's called Event Design. I don't have the author's name, but it really just takes you through the process of like creating an event and executing it efficiently with always keeping in mind the various stakeholders. So for instance, for my women's event coming up in October, I'm a stakeholder. My partner who I'm working with, she's a stakeholder. The attendees are stakeholders themselves. And then also like the vendors, because I'm also allowing vendors to get a table so that they can vend and, sell their own products. So, and even the venue manager, she's a stakeholder at the end of the day. So it's just always keeping those things in mind. And that's what I like to always, instill in my practice is that it's not just about your client. Yes, they are paying you, but it's all about the experience. I'm always about the guest experience. I hate going to events and it's just like...
Which is why you'll only catch me at a handful of weddings.
Right, exactly. It's just like, why did you drag me here? You don't care about me.
Exactly. Like literally, like you just want me here to fill the seat so you feel better.
And bring a gift. And It's just like for all that, I can just send you a gift card and we can act like I was there.
Yeah. See, my friends and family, they know me well enough to know when not to invite me to their stuff.
Right.
And like that I won't be mad if you don't ask me to be in your wedding party. Like not at all.
Right.
Like you'll get a better gift if you don't ask me to be a part of your wedding. Like there are maybe 3 people on this earth who I know and they already know that I'll be in their wedding, and maybe about 5 more that they know I'll be at their wedding. Everybody else, they just be like, yeah, I'm getting married. Oh, that's great. Let me, where's your registry? I'll send you something. That's it.
Right.
Yeah. That's it. I like baby showers though.
Oh my gosh, I'm over it. Fun to plan, but yeah.
So for your event in October, Wellness for All Women, do you need, you just mentioned that you have, you're allowing vendors to come and sell their products and things. Mm-hmm. Are you taking partnerships or sponsorships? Are you taking donations for that cause?
Yes. So, and I did forget to mention, so with this event, so I have Inspired Events by Christina, LLC, but then I also ended up creating a nonprofit as well that's still called Inspired Events by Christina, but it's just incorporated for when we do community informed events so that, individuals are able to write off what they donate. So we are taking sponsorships. We are going to put together a program that will have your, if you wanted to do an ad, if you wanted to just put your logo, we're allowing that. We're allowing for people to make donations. With my job at DCPS, we have a girls program, and excuse me if I'm jumping everywhere, but I promise it all correlates. But at my job, we have a girls program for middle school girls. And my hope is that we can get all of our girls in our program to come to the event as well, because I want like I said, I want girls as young as 13, 12, 11, even for my daughter to attend. She's 9, because it's definitely best when in the earlier stages of your life to become more informed about these, about the issues that could possibly happen to you as a young woman, or even as a woman in general. So I say all that to say that I'm hoping that I can get at least 25 tickets for those girls, in terms of like just being able to donate a ticket. Tickets are $25 in advance. And it comes with, everyone is we'll have a fresh pressed juice bar there. We're going to have some hors d'oeuvres for everyone, and everything is related to just to your womb, and all the food there is going to be specified for your womb, and even the fresh pressed juices. So, yep.
Nice. Sounds amazing. So I'm going to make sure that I get all that information from you.
Yes.
Post it everywhere. All of my entrepreneurial friends and nonprofit organization friends, she says she needs 25 tickets at $25 a ticket.
Yes.
Donations. Yes. Make sure that y'all do that. I will be reaching out personally to at least 50 of y'all, and we're going to make that.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
And even for anybody who wants to vend, we are it depends. I'm being very particular in terms of my vendors, just because of the event. I want to make sure that the vendors kind of like fit into what we're doing. So obviously, like if you're a guy and you sell, I don't know, guys, we love you. But I mean, hey, if it's natural guys stuff, then yeah, that'd be great. But we want to definitely make sure that we're tailoring the vendors for the event.
Gotcha. And that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
All right. So any more advice, any last word? I don't want to say final words, but any closing comments or words for the audience before we kind of wrap this up?
Yeah. I definitely would say for just anyone who has dreams or aspirations of like taking themselves to the next level, definitely like don't keep those dreams to yourself. Like for instance, like right here is my vision board. Made it. And when I tell you it's scary that like a lot of the stuff that I've been putting on the board are like coming into fruition. And so I recommend that. I recommend, if you're religious, definitely get back in touch with the creator. That's all I can say, and also speaking things into existence. Like I told myself that I wanted to get better with talking with God almost every day. So what I've done is like I have dedicated time where in the morning when I'm on my morning commute to go to work, I talk with God. And it's literally like a regular conversation, not in my head, out loud. And, I definitely would say also talk with other people that fall in line with where you want to go. So, with me, like I said, I have like a lot of family friends who have their own businesses. So I reached out to them, sought out their advice. It doesn't hurt to literally just speak what is on your mind sometimes, as long as it's positive. But, just making those connections with people, I definitely recommend that a lot. If you're an introvert, you got to find a way to maybe break out that shell a little bit so that you're able to get where you need to go.
Nice. So once again, thank you for coming, for joining me. And one last time for the road, where can they find you and information about your business? Yes.
Thank you again for having me. You can go on my website. It has a list of my services and it's inspiredbychristina.com. Inspired has an ED at the end. And then you can also follow me on Instagram, which is Inspired Events by Christina.com. Oh, no, not .com. Inspired Events by Christina. Instagram.
On Instagram. Gotcha. All right. Yeah. Well, thank you again. And you have a great day.
Thank you, Teddi.
You're welcome. For more information on Christina and Inspired by Christina events, you can visit inspiredbychristina.com.